This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to The Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I'm one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
Tim, how are you doing this week?
Tom?
Yeah.
I'm apprehensive.
About what?
Tom, you and I and a bunch of other folks, we're going to go on an excursion
Yes.
into the woods, and I don't want to talk too much about this.
Okay. That makes it sound more sinister than it is.
Like that there's like a murder involved or something?
Or like at the very least.
You got to do something in the woods. Don't worry. I don't want to talk about
At the
it.
very least, some kind of ritual.
Yeah. No. We're going to go to the home of Yosemite Sam. Yosemite National Park?
Yes.
What?
What did you think it was?
Maybe a state park?
No, it's not a state park.
Well, I know. That's why I was...
And it's also not the home to a cartoon character.
Oh, where did he get his name then, Tom? I'm not saying the park got named after a cartoon character. That's ridiculous.
I mean, you probably thought that for a little while when you were a kid, though.
Well, yeah. The same way I always wanted to go to Jellystone National Park.
I think Jellystone is also a national park. At least in the cartoon, it's a national park.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how accurate the cartoon is.
So we're
I
going to...
do know that they do put ties on all the bears at the park, though.
Ties.
Ties.
And hats.
And,
Tiny little adorable
well, the hats, they put them on, but there's no guarantee you'll see a bear wearing the hat
That's
because,
true.
you know, they could just knock that off. But the ties, they put them on real tight.
My goal for when we're in Yosemite
National
is to
Park.
put a hat on a bear.
Please don't go anywhere near the bears.
I'm not afraid of bears. But anyway, we'll talk about all this next week, assuming we survive.
Ooh, a cliffhanger.
Not even, yeah, well, I mean, I guess we should end every episode with, like, as long as one of us doesn't die.
Yeah.
But if we do.
Well, and then if we do the show long enough, you know, sooner or later it will come true.
That's true.
We'll come back from it, be like, oh, well, the thrilling conclusion is Tom didn't make it.
Yeah, Tom died tragically. Now, we're going, and I'm getting, or we're both getting on aeroplanes tomorrow at, in less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
I'm not prepared. I don't know what to bring. I don't know what to do.
Well, what have you gotten so far?
A whistle?
Damn.
What?
Do you have like a sleeping bag and stuff? What did you get a whistle for?
In case a bear attacks,
But,
or in case I fall into a crevice like the man James Franco.
Yeah, well, James Franco.
If he had a whistle,
having a whistle wouldn't have done anything for him, Tim. He was pinned in there. His arm was stuck.
yeah, but somebody could have hurt him.
It still seems like, couldn't he get his arm out?
Yeah, how hard is it to get your goddamn arm out of a rock?
Yeah, just wiggle it, you dummy.
Wiggle it for a little while.
Yeah.
Like the song says, wiggle it just a little bit. Or
Well,
maybe a
especially
lot,
if he's
maybe
down
even
there.
more.
What was he in there for? What was the name of that movie? 68 Hours?
Probably
Something like that?
170 hours.
Yeah. You would think after like a day or two, you'd start getting skinnier.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
What did he wind up doing? Cutting his arm
Yeah,
off?
he cut his arm
See,
off.
this is why I brought a whistle, so I don't have to cut my arm off.
Well, hopefully he brought a knife just in case the whistle doesn't work. Just in case it's your whistling hand that gets pinned.
Oh, no, I hadn't occurred. I need two. I'm going to need two whistles, Tom.
With the whistle still in your hand.
Back to REI for me.
So you have a whistle.
I have a bear bell.
What is a bear bell?
I don't know, but it costs $2, and it just jingles like a little bell. I don't know if
What,
you're
that the
supposed
bear's like?
No, I thought it was something that you wear when you're going on a hike. You know how the
Like a
survival
cow?
man? No, you know the survival man. How when he walks around, he goes like, "Hey bear, hey bear, hey bear." So bears don't like because you don't want to
Sneak up on a bear.
Yeah, exactly. As long as a bear knows you're coming.
It'll be like, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, exactly. Let me hide in the bushes till they put down their picnic basket.
Yeah.
And then I'll spring into action.
So the bear bell just makes a constant noise? That
Yeah.
doesn't sound like you're going to be fun to hike with if you're just constantly
I mean,
ding-a-linging.
Probably my labored breathing will drown that
Yeah.
out. But then when I was checking out at the lady at the I wasn't checking out the lady. The lady was checking me
Hey,
out.
you
And she
Whoa.
rang the bell and she's like, "I hope you don't hear this bell." And I was like, ha 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 ha.
So it's not what you think
No,
it
I
is.
think you like hang it on like maybe your tent or something.
Okay,
Or, like,
so if a bear comes, it rings the bell
yeah,
to
and
tell
so
you
you're
it's
like, oh,
there.
Shit.
Yeah.
Or maybe I should have bought many bear bells.
Yeah, that's probably why they were so cheap. Buy them in bulk.
Yeah.
I like the idea of you at REI, which is like a fancy camping store.
I mean, it's like
It's like a high-end camping store.
Yeah, where am I supposed to go in New York City?
No,
Tom?
but I just like the idea of you at a high-end camping store buying $3 worth of noisemakers.
I bought other things.
Sir, would you also like one of these $1,400 sleeping bags? No, just the bell and the whistle, please.
Hey, I go for all the bells and whistles, Tom.
Oh,
that's they had me
that's
marked
the-
as a pigeon when I walked right in, and they were like, "This guy's gonna want it all.
Yeah,
the
so-
bells, the whistles."
We're gonna fleece this idiot for $3.
No, Tom, I bought a headlamp.
Mm-hmm. I have one of those.
I bought a new flashlight. Look, I'm all set. I don't have a tent, sleeping
Yeah, I was
bag,
gonna-
or backpack.
Okay, yeah, that doesn't.
But I'm borrowing all that stuff from a semi-reliable friend of ours
Okay.
when we get out there.
Take your word for it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, there's a 40% chance we get there, and like our friend Nick will be like, "Oh yeah, I couldn't find that stuff,"
Yeah.
and I'll be in San Francisco, like 3,000 miles from here, and I'll be like, "All right, well, you guys have fun camping,
Right.
but whatever."
But then that's when you whip out the bells and whistles and you go, well, it'd be a real shame if something happened to you. Bear speaking. And then we'll bring you along, but you'll be on bear duty the whole weekend.
I had to like sit up, like
Yeah.
without a tent or
Well, you're
without
not going to have it. I mean, Tim, if you're going to have a tent or a sleeping bag.
just holding
you know,
the whistle in my mouth and holding out the tiny little bear bell.
Well, you can get up and do like laps once in a while.
I think that might attract the bears, Tom.
Make sure no bears are around. Yeah, but what if they come the other way?
Yeah. So,
So you're apprehensive because you don't have stuff?
yeah, I don't think I have warm enough clothes.
Yeah, I'm very unclear about what the temperatures.
Very, very cold
Oh,
there.
no.
Yeah, it's gonna be like in like the like high 20s at night.
That cold?
Yeah.
Oh, forget. I'm not going.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't own any like warm clothes, and I don't really have too much time to buy any.
Right.
And then this thing, remember, Tom, last week when I like pulled a muscle in my back or something?
Okay.
And whenever I tried to move, it felt like somebody was stabbing me in the lung.
Oh,
and I would
when we were in
scream.
London
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then it came back last week.
with a vengeance.
Yeah, and like I couldn't move without, or like take a deep breath without like screaming in pain. So I thought, oh God, this can't happen when I'm like,
Yeah.
like
I don't wanna
20
be in
miles into the wilderness.
I
Or
don't want to be in
wherever
the
we're going.
beauty and splendor of nature and just hear.
Yeah, I don't want to collapse. You jackasses will leave me there. So I went
At
to
the
this.
very least, we'll cut one of your arms off.
I went to this weird old doctor that really helped me out, Tom. I've been going. I went 3 times in the last
Is he
5
giving?
days.
What is he giving you? Pills or something? Injections?
Well, no, he's doing. He puts those pads on the electric pads. on.
Yeah. Like Bruce Lee used.
Yeah, to get strong, to
Right.
build up my muscles. But he's like,
It's like first things first. We need to muscle you up a little bit. We need to bulk you up.
he's like an eccentric old kinesiologist.
Okay.
So he's like, hey, how's it going? Like,
Does he make you do like calisthenics, like jumping jacks in the office? Like, Tim, before we get started, 30 jumping jacks.
no, but like, I don't know. Like when I got there the first time, he was eating like this impossibly large roast beef sandwich, and there was nobody in the office. Like he doesn't have a receptionist or anything. So he
Just
walked
like
in.
a room.
He's like, "Hey, I'm eating a sandwich. Go and get down to your shorts." Is what he always
Take off
says.
all your clothes. Start doing the jumping jacks.
You'll see the medicine ball in the corner.
Yeah. I'll just sit here eating the sandwich and watching.
Yeah, and so he ate a sandwich for about 25 minutes for the first appointment. But then he does it all, Tom. He shocks me with electric. He sticks pins in me, acupuncture. He cracks all my bones.
This
But-
doesn't sound like if he's like an old Brooklyn doctor eating roast beef sandwiches. He doesn't sound like he knows acupuncture then.
Well, he knows it all, Tom. Well, he always goes, "I'm going to stick you now."
All
So
right.
yeah, I mean he's the great. I can't get enough of this guy. I go there I go there every other day now. And he cured me. And you know what he told me, Tom?
What?
My rib was moved. Like I pulled a muscle, and the muscle pulled a rib out of alignment.
How does that happen?
I don't
Aren't
know.
ribs attached?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you have to break one to move it?
No, it
But I
can
guess
move.
when you breathe.
Yeah, it moves a little bit.
So where did it get tucked behind, like your liver or something like that?
I don't know what happened. All I know is he kept cracking things.
Oh, is that what? Did you get like wrapped up with bandages?
Yeah, I got wrapped up with bandages
Yeah,
like a regular goddamn mummy.
Well, it also happens like karate guys in karate movies when they get beat up.
Yeah.
I
I
gotta
didn't get beat up, though. It's
tie 'em
just
up.
I pulled a muscle reaching for a cup of coffee.
Yeah, well, now you got Halloween sorted out there, Tim. You can go as a mummy.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
So everything was going great until today, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, hey, can you just make sure, like, that this isn't going to happen again? Like,
That's oh, no, I was going to make sure it would happen
no,
again.
I was just like, if there's anything you can do that would make it, like, because we're going on, like, a 15-mile hike, Tom.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm going on a 15-mile hike in Yosemite,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't, like, want to be, like, in the fetal position in pain.
Right.
Like, because he's like, I get it. And then he started acupuncturing my skin with
Sticking
needles.
you, yeah.
And this is what I hate. When doctors take their eyes off the prize and they start telling you a story, because they're always distracted. Like,
how long does it take it doesn't take that long to do acupuncture either. Like, was it like a minute worth of putting the pins in? Just
I don't know. I counted the pins, Tom.
Yeah.
It's upwards of 30 pins he's putting
That's
in
a
my
lot
back.
of pins.
Yeah.
Wow, you're really getting your money's worth.
Exactly. Well, he keeps going like, I'm done. I'm like, no more pins. What am I paying you for, Doc?
Yeah.
This guy's like, if Doc Brown was like a small Greek man.
Okay.
So he's like eccentric, but
and
like,
a medical doctor, not a physicist.
yeah. And he might be a physicist too. He has a lot of those degrees on the wall.
Well, it seemed like he's throwing everything at you.
Yeah, he's got it all. But then today, like, he's always been like roast beef sandwiches aside, like he's always maintained like a level of professionalism. But then like, and you know, I had a problem with my last chiropractor with the racial slurs, right?
You're a racist chiropractor.
Yeah. So this guy, he's sticking me with the needles, and he's like, yeah, I used to go to Yosemite every summer for 2 weeks, and he's like, yeah, one night, and then he started telling me like bear stories. And he's like, one night in the middle of the night.
One night I got a little too crazy with the bear bell.
No, this is worse, Tom. He's like, I get up. I gotta take a piss. My dog is with me at the time, so I'm gonna go. I'm taking a fucking piss, right? I'm walking, and I'm like, oh no. And he's putting the needles in me, and like, some of them like hurt more than like they had. I was like, oh no, you're not putting them in.
Yeah.
You're
not paying attention.
And he's just suddenly like, I don't think a doctor should necessarily be cursing that much.
Yeah.
He's like, so I'm fucking taking a piss, and this dog's all over my fucking leg. And I'm like, hey, what the fuck? And then I'm looking, and I don't like cussing on this podcast, Tom. I'm just telling what a medical doctor told me today.
Right.
But he looked at me and he's like, and there was a big bear standing up on its hind legs, like,
Oh man.
yeah, like, and he's like,
Like pretending it's a person.
yeah, and he's like, me and the dog, we took 5 steps back, and then we ran like motherfucking bats out of hell.
I'm imagining your doctor like Scooby-Doo and Shaggy.
Yeah, I don't.
The dog jumped into my arms. He was shaking like a leaf.
Yeah, so I'm a little apprehensive. And then he told this other story about when he was in Aspen, and the hotel that he went to closed when he got there.
He was a very careful doctor.
And he was just like, but I knew the owner of the hotel.
It doesn't matter if the hotel's closed.
Well, he goes, and he was a friend of mine, so he just threw me the keys and said, here, you stay at the hotel. You'll be the only one in it.
Okay.
And then he was in the hotel, and a bear came in the hotel.
What?
And ate and drank like...
And ate his wife.
It was a very tragic story, Tom. But this bear was drinking all this olive oil, and he's like...
What is all the olive oil?
It got
This is
into
a
the
made-up
kitchen.
story, Tim. Your doctor is a liar and not a doctor.
And then my doctor adds this other like aspect to the story. He's like, so I called the cops. The cops there know me. I smoked pot with a lot of them. Every night we'd get together and get real high. And it's like, you're putting needles in my back, sir, and you're a doctor. You're supposed to tell me not to. Hey, I got nothing against drugs, Tom. But
Yeah.
I'm more about hugs.
Yeah.
Right?
And needles.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe those were drug needles he was putting in you, Tim.
Drug needles.
Yeah,
That
you don't
would
even
explain why
know.
I feel so great.
Yeah, then why you're always wanting more of them.
Yeah.
The first thing that popped into my head when you said they called the cops, I was like, oh, come on, man. Don't call the cops. Be cool.
On a bear?
Yeah.
Tom, I'm famously not afraid of bears. Getting a little
Yeah,
afraid
we'll
of
see.
bears. Yeah.
Tim, you're not famously not afraid of bears.
Everybody is so impressed with my cavalier stance.
You've never seen a bear,
bear safety.
Not in a zoo or on TV or in a movie.
I've seen a bear in real life.
Where?
The woods.
Oh, come on. All right. Well, I guess I've got to believe you.
Yeah. He's wearing a hat.
Well.
And a tie.
Oh, okay. All right, Tim. What are we talking about this week?
Tom?
Yes.
Something near and dear to our hearts and brains and hands.
Oh, can the listener guess based on those clues?
They might be able to guess from the episode title.
Oh, yeah. Well, I imagine a lot of people listen with their eyes closed so that they don't look at the episode title beforehand.
They just have to
Well, they
scroll. How would that
They
work?
want it to be a surprise.
Yeah, that's true. You have a loved one.
Yeah, set
download
it up for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart. Left-handedness, Tom.
Yeah.
We're both. Well, I'm a lefty. You know this.
Go ahead.
Well, I do things with my left hand.
Uh-huh.
I write. I throw a ball. Most things that left-handed people would do, I do. What about you, Tom? Would you consider yourself a lefty?
I can tell the look on your face. You can find any little way to dismiss me.
Go on.
In my experience, Tim.
I'm not dismissing you, Tom. I just feel like you might be a fraud.
Well,
a hypocrite,
yeah, exactly.
A scoundrel.
Yeah. So I am technically cross-dominant. Tim, let me explain what that means. It means I use both hands, but I am not ambidextrous.
Right.
No left. Left-handed, see. Anyway, so I'm not ambidextrous. I'm cross-dominant, which means I use my left hand for some things and my right hand for some things. It's not like I use and my right hand, that's for picking my nose, and that's the only thing I use it for.
Well, that's all I use my right hand for. Picking my nose, wiping my butt.
Yeah, well, I mean...
That's all a right hand is good for.
Well, I mean, lefties, yeah. It's not like your right hand is just atrophied and you've never used it. But let me explain.
Let's do the rundown.
So with my left hand, I write with a pen.
All right, what about a pencil?
Or a pencil. Or a paintbrush. Yes.
Okay.
To think about, but if we were painting a house, Tim, I would be doing that with my right hand.
Really?
Yeah.
If I was using a paintbrush,
yeah,
and I just did Tom.
If you're doing an oil painting,
I just did some painting. If I'm using a brush on the wall,
yeah,
I was using my left hand. I was using the roller. I was using my right.
Oh, sounds like you might have a little cross dominance in you.
Fuck you.
How dare you? I mean, go to your kooky doctor and get him to work that out of you.
Yeah.
But I throw righty. I would play guitar righty. I would bowl righty. I would use so here's an important difference, Sam. I use a mouse righty, but trackpads I use my left hand.
I use it all. That's like
I use it all.
No, I use a mouse and a trackpad with my right hand just because I had it beaten out of me, man.
Well, I think that's no, that's not why I do it. Tim, I'm very different. I'm different than the other boys.
Tom, you're like Albert Einstein. You think different.
Yep. It is
Jim Henson.
I looked it up. It is less than 1% of the population is cross-dominant.
Well, that just
means...
means...
And it's about 10% are lefties.
Right.
I don't know. Actually, I'm curious what the percentage is for, the particular cross-dominance of, lefty... People who write with their left but use the right, and people who write with their right but use their left.
For what?
For those two. No, for everything I'm saying. Because I still consider myself a lefty because I write lefty.
Yeah, but look, the days are numbered where people are even writing anything. That's gonna be that's gonna be nothing.
Yeah, look at how withered away my left hand has gotten.
It's gonna be like I turn on my Oculus Rift with my left hand. I use the buttons on my Oculus.
Wow.
Right? Because everybody's going to be living in cyberspace. Like a bunch of cyber boys, cyber girls.
Yep. You sounds like you really got your finger on the pulse.
Tom,
the fingers of your right hand on the pulse.
What?
Mm-hmm.
No, I do.
So you've always been a lefty.
No, I changed.
Well, I don't know, Tim. Maybe, you heard it was a cool thing to do.
Is it cool?
No, I don't think it is cool. Actually,
I don't think anything can be considered cool in the realm of what hand do you use to write your grocery lists with?
Well,
and again, I use a digital thing.
So
guys.
listen, this is one note I found here, Tim. Some scholars note that left-handers may be one of the last unorganized minorities in society because they have no collective power and no real sense of common identity.
Yeah.
Additionally, left-handers are often discriminated against by social, educational, and religious institutions. Social customs and even language set the left-hander apart as different or even bad.
I don't. Tom, do you feel like you've been marginalized?
I didn't know that I was, Tim. That was actually part of the most marginalized minority of them all.
Yeah, that's true. How come there's not
I was stumbling through life as a straight white man in America thinking I had it all figured out. But it turns out.
No wonder I knew there was something very difficult about my life.
Yeah. Although, I mean, it is better than, I still don't think it's cool. I've never heard anyone singled as whoa, cool, a lefty. Maybe once in a while, like a pitcher would be thought to be cool if they're a lefty.
No, he just has a real good
Southpaw?
pickoff move.
Yeah.
Oh, Southpaw is a cool name.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. But that's at least something. If there's if you got 10 pitchers and that's but that guy, he's our Southpaw. He's a secret weapon.
I don't know. I think it's just the ball comes down at a different angle, and they're really good at a pickoff play, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd be a pretty good pitcher, not because I'm good at pitching.
Mm-hmm. You're good at belly itching.
I'm very good at belly itching, Tom. I'm good at I'm good at tummy drums, belly itching.
You're a tummy connoisseur.
Yeah, I do it all.
A tummy renaissance man.
Do you think you'd be able to ninth inning rookie of the year
with my left hand?
If you needed to? No, if I put you in a major league ball game
okay.
for one inning, do you think you'd be able to get 3 outs before the mercy rule goes in effect?
No, I don't think I'd be able to get 3 outs.
Trick plays and pickoffs?
Oh, I mean, of course, I'd be racking my brain for trick plays, but I think I'd have trouble throwing it far enough to get across home plate.
Yeah, probably. Oh, and you'd be a righty too, so your pickoff move wouldn't be that good.
Yeah. No, as a result of being the way I am, Tim, cross dominant.
Right. This must have been very tough.
It was very tough.
Yeah.
It's supposed to make certain sports certain sports I'm supposed to be better at, and then others I'm supposed to be worse at. But I'm just kind of bad at all of them.
That's what I feel about
left-handedness.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're both just bad at sports.
Yeah.
Neither of us ever I've never practiced at a sport.
Yeah, it never really, as a kid, it never made sense to me why there even was practice.
Yeah, and I was like, man, baseball stinks.
Uh-huh.
And it's I don't know why I'm so bad at baseball. And it was because I never played baseball.
Yeah, Tim, you didn't work at it.
Yeah. Story of my goddamn life. Yeah.
So let's talk about some other lefty stuff, Tim.
All right. Well, before the 20th century, it was a disability, right? Or even they treated it as a disability.
Well, they treated it more that you were the devil or something.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on how far back you go.
Truth is, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little truth to that.
What do you mean?
Left-handed people being the devil.
There's some truth to that?
Yeah.
How so?
Barack Hussein Obama.
Oh, yeah.
I hear he's the Antichrist.
Yeah.
He's left-handed.
There's a disproportionate amount of presidents who are lefties.
Yeah. All right. So Obama,
Mm-hmm.
William Jefferson Clinton,
Mm-hmm.
George Herbert Walker Bush,
Mm-hmm.
and Harry Stephen Truman. Stevedore Truman.
They were all
Sally?
Nope. They were all lefties.
Yeah. Ford was ambidextrous. And Reagan was
Good and right.
disputed. Yeah. It says disputed.
Disputed? What do you mean? Aren't there picture? I've seen pictures of him signing things into law.
Here's what I found. And then there's the case of Ronald Reagan. Old the Gipper. Old blue eyes, right?
I think you're getting some of those confused.
He wrote with his right hand, but discussion has abounded that he was switched from his natural tendencies when he was young by strict school teachers. It has been pointed out that he slapped Angie Dickinson with his left hand in the film The Killers, which is what a lefty would do. Tom,
wait.
What hand do you use to slap women?
Tim, I don't slap women for the last time. Why was he slapping Angie Dickinson in The Killers? Well, I guess that's...
She probably wronged him.
Well, I guess if you're in a movie called The Killers,
Maybe she
that's
was the killer.
The least you're worried that she was the killer.
Yeah.
He was like, you killed him, slap.
Yeah.
Then
He went
roll
around.
credits.
He found all the killers. She was just
wow.
but one of them, and he can give him a good left-handed slap.
That just sounds like
became his trademark.
Some good... See, that's like that movie Death Wish with... Charles Bronson.
Yeah.
But there's like a good, clean, fun version.
What?
You just slaps him.
Yeah.
Once he's like, hey, you killed that person. Slap.
It's your Reagan?
That's
your young Reagan?
That's my young Reagan.
That's good.
Ronald Reagan.
Ranald?
You didn't know that? He pronounced his own name
Ronald
strangely.
Reagan, huh?
Did you know that, I don't mean to just like throw facts out at you here, Tim, but I have two facts.
These episodes where we do research suck.
That the word sinister means left in Latin. I always wanted to be one of those guys that knows a lot of Latin.
Why?
Because it seems...
No, screw those guys.
Have you ever met one of those guys in person, though? I think they only exist in movies.
Probably.
Yeah.
But, Tom, who cares? Like, has that ever interested you where it's like, oh, this word came from this? Cool. Great.
No, I want to be like at a cocktail party, though, and like say something. Somebody quotes Latin, and then I like say something in Latin back to them.
Oh. Like skull and bones things, and then you guys do a secret handshake. And
a secret Latin handshake.
Yeah, and then like excuse yourselves to go have sex with a goat.
Go listen to some Latin music.
Oh, some J-Lo, some Mark Anthony.
Did you also know that 1 in 4 Apollo astronauts were lefties?
I did know that, Tom. My biggest enemies.
Yeah, the astronauts. The
astronauts.
world's biggest cowards, as you've
They're not cowards, Tom. They just don't do any work. They sit in a chair, and then everybody's like, "Wow, they're heroes."
So does that say that lefties are lazy then? If they recruited more lefties,
maybe they're
astronauts?
Smart enough. Maybe this makes them geniuses, Tom.
Everybody in mission control's righty.
Yeah, and they figured out how to get all the fame and glory while all those dopes in Texas are really doing all the in Houston. They're doing all the work.
They're up all night working.
And these left-handed astronauts they're like, oh, when I come home, there will be a parade for me, even though all he did was sit in a chair. Throw him a parade, sitting in a chair, while a bunch of eggheads in Houston crunch all the numbers.
I didn't know about some of these phrases, Tim. I knew left-handed compliment. Everybody's always heard that one. That's an insult. But I didn't know that there's also a left-handed marriage, which is not a marriage, but an adulterous sexual liaison.
Ooh.
As in and then this is the example.
Like a part-time lover situation?
This is the example they give, Tim. A left-handed honeymoon with someone else's husband. You've heard that phrase at cocktail parties.
Isn't that redundant?
Yeah. It's putting a little too fine of a point on it.
Yeah.
And a left-handed wife is a mistress. So from now on, when you're introducing your mistress to people, you can say, this is my left-handed
I'll
wife.
introduce my mistress any way I want to introduce my mistress, Tom. Last time I take notes from you on my mistress introducing.
Well, I'm just saying, Tim, these cocktail parties lately, I'm trying to learn Latin. I'm trying to impress people. And you just you don't even introduce your mistress to people.
I introduce them.
They're both just standing there like,
Well, I don't want them to find out about each other.
Oh, pretty smart.
God, imagine what would happen. God forbid one of my mistresses found out about the other mistress on my other arm.
Yeah. Oh, you'd be in trouble. Yeah. You'd be in hot water. Research indicates that left-handers are more likely to become alcoholics, schizophrenic, delinquent, and dyslexic. They are also more likely to have Crohn's disease, ulcers, and mental disabilities.
I don't know.
But scholars note that despite these maladies, left-handers have survived because they are traditionally successful in combat.
But that doesn't describe either of us, Tom.
It could.
But I got the ulcers and the schizophrenia out of this deal.
I mean, the way they're explaining this, though, I'm wondering who these scholars are because they're saying, oh, despite this, they've survived because they're good in combat. It's not natural selection. It's not like all lefties evolved. That's something I'd like to dispute right here and now.
What?
The idea that all lefties are related to each other.
I don't know that you can say that for sure, Tom.
And that they've all just, come down a single branch of the old... I
don't think that's what they're saying, Tom.
Well... That I'm reading the thing, Tim, and that's what they say. No, and actually, I read in another place that even when everybody thought lefties were real bad people, the percentage of lefties has pretty much always been the same.
Right.
Even when they were killing us by the thousands.
Is that what was happening?
No,
they were just making people write with their right hands, right?
Well, they were making people, but like if you go further back, they were like, "Oh, that guy, he knows black magic because he's a lefty."
Did that happen?
Yeah, the left-handed path. That's Satan's.
Yeah, but they were like manufacturing reasons to like drown people and burn them on a stake, right?
Yeah. Well, it was real boring back then.
Yeah, and they're like, left-handed. Oh, look at that guy. He's got Oh, imagine what they probably did to those guys that have like, that like one spot of like white hair in your hair, like John Henson has.
Uh-huh.
First of all, John Henson has that thing, right?
Yeah.
It's that patch of like white or gray hair, right?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
You're in Hollywood, John Henson. Dye that patch.
No, Tim, that's what makes him distinguishable from.
It's his.
He's the most
his cutting wit.
No, he's the most ordinary-looking person you could ever imagine. But you give him that, and you're like, oh, that's that guy.
If I was his agent, I'd be like, Henson, dye that white spot.
But I'm sure that conversation's come. Maybe it can't be dyed.
What?
Yeah. Maybe that splotch of white hair just doesn't.
Well, then he should go to the hospital.
I'm sure he's been to the hospital before, Tim. He's not immortal.
He's been to the hospital about that. He wakes up in the middle of like, my God, my hair is white in this patch. Yeah, but they probably suffered a bad fate in like the Spanish Inquisition, right?
Lefties?
No, the white patch of hair.
Yeah, I don't think the people with one patch of hair that's a different color. I don't think that's too common. I think probably somebody like that during the Spanish Inquisition. Just as well, maybe not the Spanish Inquisition, but like other times, like just as likely that it's like, oh, that guy, he must be a wizard.
That's true.
There was some society that I found
professionally
during my research that said the left-handed people they thought were sorcerers. It turned out not to be true.
What?
Yeah.
That's disappointing.
Have you ever hurt yourself because you're lefty, Tim?
All right. This friggin' thing. And they're like, 2,500 left-handed people every year are killed by using right-handed equipment. No, they're not. No, they're not.
Where do you think they're coming up with that number then, Tim?
Freaking the same thing that's like, you only use 10% of your brain. That's just a thing that everybody thinks. Mm-hmm. Like, what thing have you ever used that was, let's think. Like scissors. Right.
Yeah.
Like large industrial equipment or whatever.
Large industrial scissors.
Right, but like, I used scissors left-handed. I used right-handed scissors. It's not the most comfortable thing. Yeah, when you're cutting out a circle out of oak tag, it's not the best circle. It's not the smoothest circle you've ever seen in your life. It's fine. You're not going to die from it.
That's your cross to bear, Tim. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to cut circles.
Yeah.
Well, they did say during like the Industrial Revolution, they think a lot, and maybe that's where this number came from. That like a lot of lefties got hurt because the machines were complicated and they were all just like they never thought about left-handed people using them.
The thing is, like, just learn how to use it.
But a lot of those things, it was like, oh, you pull this lever, you hit that switch, you push this in. Yeah, exactly. The gears go, and then whatever you do, don't put your fucking hand over there because it'll rip it right off.
Yeah.
And
then, boom.
Yeah.
The right hand gets...
Lefty Larry comes over like, oh, I got this.
Leisure Suit
Boss,
Larry.
my hand's in the gears.
What a jerk.
Yeah.
Lefty Larry's a real jerk.
He's one of the worst mascots we could have.
Somebody should have really beaten the left-handedness out of him. You know who are some other bad mascots we could have?
Did you only look up who famous left-handed people were?
No. Why? Who else did I say? The
There's
presidents?
Yeah.
That's it.
But you've only referred to your notes twice, and both times you're like, do you know there are some famous left-handed people?
Tom, here's the thing. A lot of my notes, you've been spouting them off.
Well, sorry, Tim.
It's not a contest of who can say facts faster, Tom. It's a contest of who is handsomer.
Well,
9 times out of 10, I win that.
Well,
that contest.
It's not true, and it's a podcast. So.
The Boston Strangler.
Now, how do they know that? Because of the strangle marks?
Probably.
Was the Boston Strangler ever found?
I don't know much about the Boston. Did that happen? Did that happen in the 1700s, or did that happen in
like 20 years ago?
1985.
Yeah, no idea.
The world will never know. Jack the Ripper.
Did they ever catch the Boston Strangler? I guess not. If they're still calling him the Boston Strangler.
Well, they're still calling Berkowitz Son of Sam.
Yeah, but you call him his name sometimes. Plus, Son of Sam, such a cool name.
That's true. But the Boston Strangler.
Yeah.
Right? Jack the Ripper.
Who
they said is left-handed, but we don't know who that is.
Yeah,
right?
but it's one of those things. Like every few years, they're like, "We figured out who Jack the Ripper is." Like anybody gives a shit anymore.
Yeah, and also it's like, oh, it was this guy. It's like I'm not gonna know who this guy is.
Yeah. Unless it was Sherlock Holmes, I don't know who it was.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be surprised.
Maybe if it was Winston Churchill, I'd be like, oh, wow. Okay.
Wow, huh?
Interesting.
Yeah, you think you know a guy.
Yeah. And Osama bin Laden, left-handed.
Oh.
Yeah.
So a lot of bad guys.
Yeah.
So I guess the whole devil thing is true.
Yeah. There's never been a bad right-handed guy.
Although I'll tell you what, Tim, between the Boston Strangler and the who's the other guy, Jack the Ripper, it sounds to me like lefties know how to get away with stuff.
It's true. We're cunning. We're crafty.
Yeah. Think about how many lefty killers there are that nobody even knows about.
Was Dexter a lefty or a righty, Tom?
Well, it's a fictional character, and I don't remember.
All right, Tom.
Yes.
So I'm no good at sports, and I started to play golf one time.
Okay.
I was taking
so
golf
you play
lessons.
golf lefty then? I think I play golf righty.
Well, how do you swing a baseball bat, lefty or righty?
Righty.
You
right?
are not
what's
left-handed.
Righty, it's when you're looking at the batter. If I'm the pitcher, I'm looking at the batter. The side
You're on the right side.
Then I'm a righty.
No, wait. If you're looking from the pitcher's mound,
yes,
on the right side of the plate.
Right.
The pitcher sees you on the right side of the plate.
And then you say that guy's a right-handed
batter,
swinger,
right-handed baseball player. Yeah.
Okay, so then I hit righty.
And you play golf righty?
Yes.
Here's the scam.
I think I could. You know what, Tim? I think I could be a switch hitter.
Well, you like a bad. Just as bad lefty as you are righty.
The same thing, Tim. Put me in the
Coach,
ninth inning.
I'm ready to play.
Put me in the ninth inning batting. I think I'm going to pull out a win.
I could bunt a guy over.
Okay.
That's the most I could do, I think.
Could you do it reliably without getting your finger smashed?
I don't think I could, Tom.
Yeah. I think this is my prediction, Tim. If you were in a Major League Baseball game and you were trying to bunt, you'd be so afraid of smashing your fingers you wouldn't hold the bat carefully enough, and then the bat would smash your fingers.
That's probably true, but
I'll tell you what,
matter,
that would be a dead ball. That would be a pretty good bunt.
And it would be all. You know what?
You screaming while running to first.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't run it out, first of all.
Just be like, no.
Second of all, the best pain reliever of all is when your teammates lift you up on their shoulders.
They don't do that to somebody who bunts to first.
Well,
and
bunts a
breaks
man,
his hand.
bunts a man over. No, that makes me a hero, Tom.
The guy who comes home, they're going to bring up on their shoulders. You're going to be halfway between home and first holding your mangled hand.
Yeah, but the
crying.
thing is, look, whatever situation, whatever series of events led me to be batting in the ninth
Right.
inning of Game 7 of the World Series, Tom.
Right. This is gonna be
Something
a
has
pretty
happened.
extraordinary
Yeah,
event.
exactly. So everybody's going to be like, man, we didn't think this guy could do anything, and he just won the World Series for us. It doesn't matter who crossed the plate, right? It matters that this
Yeah, but
nobody, this
what if-
schlubby doof.
What if you had like screwed up the whole series for them though?
Well, then
What if it was a situation where they were 3 games ahead in the series, and then you bought the baseball team and insisted on playing,
Look,
and that's why?
I would never do a little big league situation. That's my promise to you.
Yeah, that's what, in all your major league contracts.
If I ever buy a team, I will not manage the team. I will not play on the team. I will stay in the front. I won't even. I'll look. I don't know enough about the mechanisms of even like what the general manager's doing. I don't know how to build a team.
You'd
I'll
insist
bankroll
on some trick plays though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. 5 a game.
So you were saying about golf though.
Yeah. So I was taking golf lessons, like
Were
with
you joining
everybody.
a country club?
No, this was like given by like the town. It was like a bunch of us did
Okay.
it. Me, Jimmy, Jeff, Nick,
Checks
the gang.
out.
All the people that were going camping with
So
them. All the
along-
people we're going to die in the woods with next week.
You'll know all these names from the newspaper. But so this was a long time ago though.
Yeah, I was a child.
Okay.
And so they had clubs there, right?
Well,
And so like we
yuppie
were,
kids.
we were doing it, and I was doing it lefty because it's very much like swinging a baseball bat. Well, it's not, but that's why
Right.
I'm not good at golf. But like, so I was like, hey, I want to play golf, and my parents are like, cool, we'll buy you a set of clubs, like crappy clubs or whatever,
Yeah.
like used clubs. I was like, awesome. And then they were like, it's really hard to find cheap used like lefty.
Why were they
clubs 'cause
whispering
they're
to
so-
you?
I was in the room. They were whispering to each
Oh,
other.
okay.
They were spelling out a lot of the words.
Right.
They were like, I don't know how we're going to get TIM, some GOLFCLUBS.
Might be time to bring him back to the ORPHANGE.
Well, they know how to
I
spell
spell-
orphanage better than you
I
did.
can't spell out loud or writing down.
Yeah. And so they talked to the instructor, who was just a guy. He wasn't even like a golf pro. He was just like a guy from the neighborhood, I think. And he's like, oh, no. If you're left-handed, that's great. Lefties have an advantage because if you golf right-handed, now you're leading with your left arm, and it gives you a lot more power, so you'll be better.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
And I was just like, if that was the case, then why wouldn't right-handed golfers golf lefty?
Yeah.
If it's easier, and they tried to shove this scam down my throat just so they didn't have to buy clubs, and I was not having it. So they bought me those lefty clubs, and I played like 2 rounds of golf in my entire life since then.
Well, you still have them though, right?
Yeah.
Bring them to Yosemite this weekend.
Yeah, we'll hit some balls
Hit the
off
back nine.
off the
Off the Bears.
yeah.
Did you know that lefties are more likely to become insomniacs?
You see, I don't know.
Do you know that they're twice as likely to be men?
Who's doing these studies?
Presumably the United Nations. Better at 3D perception
Okay.
and thinking.
These are all unsubstantiated facts, Tom.
They're 26% richer.
In
Life.
money?
In money.
Or friends or love.
In money, you idiot.
Affection.
The only thing that matters. On a keyboard, there are 1,447 English words that can be typed solely with the left
This
hand.
is so dumb. You can
Only
type,
100
you can type them all. Tom.
Tim,
Your
that-
hand has
in
access to the whole
in the
freaking
home
keyboard.
position. In the home position.
Oh, this is ridiculous. Who
It's
cares?
Tim, you will get a hint about one of my most used passwords right now. Every 10 years, I give you one hint. my password is partially my password because it can be typed entirely with my left hand.
Is that like a weird, like because your other hand's occupied?
No. Why would I?
Because you're signing into a thing.
But why would it be occupied? Like, why would I be like, well, before I log in, let me get started here?
I'll tell you why, Tom.
Why?
Because connections between the right and left sides of the brain are faster in left-handed people, which suggests that left-handers are more efficient multitaskers.
Oh.
So maybe you're just trying to get some work done
Just
at
trying
the
to get
same
a
time.
head start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Maybe you're not. Maybe you got whatever sick, depraved things you're going. You got that going, and then you're like, hey, and let me sign into my work email and see what's going on there.
More likely to pursue creative careers.
Mm-hmm.
More likely to be on the extreme poles of the intelligence scale. So that explains how I'm so smart and you're so dim-witted. Because it's on different ends of the scale.
I understand.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know what that means.
More likely to have allergies. Oh, here's
God.
No. All right. Here's some bizarre ones.
Tom, is this going to turn into another episode of Tom Reads Facts?
I'll give you one more fact.
All right.
And then you want to do solves problem?
Yeah.
All right. Left-handed people can adjust to seeing underwater quicker.
There's no way that somebody
It's
actually
true.
studied that.
Tim, they did all the studies.
I can't open my eyes underwater.
Well, then, see, something like that, you're thrown out. Then, you're not
Of the lefty club?
No, out of the experiment.
Well, then I don't agree with the results.
But you self-select out. It's just more quickly. So if you're not seeing at all underwater, you're out.
I could open my eyes at one point. I forget when. I became brave one summer.
Yeah.
I was opening my eyes everywhere.
I bet astronauts could probably open their eyes underwater.
They've never been asked. They don't have to do anything.
They go in the pools in the spacesuits.
Yeah, guess what? They got a helmet on. They don't need to do anything.
All right, you want to solve a problem?
Yeah, let's do a salsa problem. Hello and welcome to Tim and Tom Solve Your Problems. I'm Tim.
I'm Tom.
And we're going to solve one of your problems. But if you have a problem you'd like us to solve, email us at thecompleteguidetoeverything@gmail.com. Gmail.com.
Yes.
Tom?
Mm-hmm.
This guy wrote an email from Amsterdam, but he doesn't want us to use his name.
Okay.
We'll call him Chuck.
Chuck from Amsterdam.
Hey, Tim and Tom, I never thought I'd have a problem worth messaging about. My life is generally pretty sweet.
This guy sounds pretty braggadocious.
Yeah, but if
I've been sailing through life thinking, I'll never have to email them for help.
Those idiots. Nothing they could say could help me. But a few months back,
Yes.
I started a new job. The job's okay. It pays well, at least. Ooh, he's bragging again.
Yeah.
But one of my colleagues is really argumentative. It's a new job, and I don't have many people to talk with yet, so I engage in conversation with this one guy quite often as he sits at a desk with me and one other dude, at the desk with me and one other dude, the other dude being our boss. That sucks, sitting at a desk with your boss.
That's a real clumsy way to phrase that, too.
Yeah.
And they're all at one desk.
Yeah, it's
A
like
lot of elbows.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Excuse me. I need the stapler. Could you pass the stapler? Pass the stapler. Stapler coming down. Stapler coming down.
You think it's like a straight line?
Yeah.
Okay. Everything I say, he literally disagrees with, and it feels like he disagrees just to annoy me, more so than because it's what he actually thinks. He argues unpopular opinions so often that once I just casually said, "You're a bit of a devil's advocate." He immediately replied with, "No, I'm not. That's not what that means," and then started Googling it.
Okay.
I like discussing things. I like talking to people, so I always get drawn into conversations with him. It's great to have opposing opinions, But the other day, while discussing art, I said, it's fine to have differing opinions about this. Art's very subjective. And he said, well, in that case, what's the point of discussing anything if no one can win? And this guy sounds like a real jerk. I've included a recent argument as an example. Tom, do you want to be him and I'll be...
Oh, he's put it in
I'll
script
do voice.
Yeah.
What are you working on?
Who's that?
That's the coworker. What are you working on?
That's not Chuck.
This is Chuck. I've been asked to illustrate these shoes. They look just like Converse, but with spikes, and they cost $2,000.
What the hell are these people doing for a living? They're splitting a chair drawing $2,000 sneakers?
Yeah, look at these sneakers. He sent a picture
Wait,
of the
he sent
sneakers.
a picture?
Yeah, it's Converse with spikes on them.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty accurate.
Yeah. Well, they don't really look anything like Converse. Really? Do you not think so? They're the same shape and everything.
Uh-huh.
It's not about the shape. They're a different design.
Tim, these two voices are getting too confusing. All right.
It kind of is about the shape. You can't just change the color of something and say you've redesigned it. They designed a tag at the back to help you put them on. I'm going for a cigarette. I didn't really understand what was going on in that scenario, Tom. I think our guy, Chuck, said the shoes looked like Converse, but with spikes on them.
Uh-huh.
And then the other guy,
said
we'll
that
call
they
him
don't.
Larry, said they don't look like them, like
Right.
other shoes. What do I do? How do I deal with this guy? Also, sending this email is a risky move. I love the show, so while discussing podcasts with him in my first week, I'm pretty sure I said the show is great and really worth listening to. I'll probably be fine. He probably disagreed and didn't listen.
I'll probably be fine because so many people who listen design $2,000 spike shoes at work.
And have had this conversation. Have had this argument of whether or not they look like regular Converse.
Yeah, it's just something everybody's experienced.
Thanks in advance. Please don't read my name just in case he does listen. I think he can narrow it down if he does listen. Should we not have said he's in Amsterdam?
Well, it's too late now. That's a huge place. Lots of
spiked shoes.
What I want to know is this guy sitting at a desk with this other guy and his boss. His boss isn't like, hey, the two of you knuckleheads, shut the hell up and get back to work.
Get back to drawing spikes on these sneakers.
Yeah. And all right. So the picture that I'm looking at of Spike sneakers, he was given this photograph and then told to draw a picture of them.
I guess so.
See, that's backwards. That's not how design works.
I've been asked to illustrate these shoes. They look just like Converse, but with spikes, and they cost $2,000. Yeah, he's been asked to illustrate them. I don't know if this is a usual thing that happens. Because otherwise,
if they just told him, "Hey, draw us. We need to make some new shoes here at the company.
Right.
Draw us some Converse with spikes." And then if the guy did this, the other guy's he can't say, "Oh, those don't look like Converse." He's like, "They told me to draw Converses. They do look like Converses."
Right. But you're right. I think the boss needs to intervene here.
Yeah.
What are they doing that they're chattering away all day too?
And drawing pictures of expensive sneakers.
Well, maybe that's what they have to do. Maybe they're.
What?
All right. You know how there's presumably someone at the Wall Street Journal. Whenever they have somebody in an article, they have that drawing of them,
what is
right?
that called? Dibblegraph,
right?
Uh-huh.
So maybe
Stipple.
Maybe they
Stipplegraph.
Maybe they do Stipplegraph in like like in Amsterdam, like their version of Consumer Reports.
It's all just drawings.
Yeah.
And Consumer Reports covers fashionable, like high-end fashion
Or maybe
sneakers.
it's for an advertisement, Tom.
Best advertisement's a photograph, Tim. For $2,000 shoes, I want to see a picture of them. I don't want to see an artist interpretation.
But maybe they're going to show what they look like if Da Vinci was wearing them. Or like maybe this is what it looks like if Jesus was wearing them.
Show me a picture.
Well,
get a guy
you
who
can't
looks like
get Jesus.
For $2,000 shoes. No, you can get a guy who looks like him though. It's easy enough in Amsterdam,
Jim
especially.
Caviezel?
Yeah, is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
Caviezel?
Yeah. What do you think it was?
Cazavel?
I don't know.
That's the guy from The Passion of the Christ.
It's Jesus.
Jesus, yes. Yeah. So this guy's boss should get involved. It sounds like this guy's boss should fire both of these people.
Yeah, that's true.
I like to imagine this boss just like with steam coming out of his ears all day, just red in the face, like, oh, these knuckleheads.
The dad from Al.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just don't talk to him. Put in headphones, right? You can frame him for a crime real easily.
How? By
I was thinking about this. I've been trying to shoehorn this one into a complete guy. Tim and Tom solve your problems.
Okay,
might as well do it
somebody
now.
for a crime?
Yeah, this is a good way. All you need is someone who's a friend of yours who's a bank teller.
Okay.
And then who has like a few weeks, preferably months, maybe a year or two.
Okay. So an amount of time.
Yeah, but a good amount of time, like a few hours a day.
But you said from weeks to years. That's a wide...
Months, okay. Yeah, exactly. It depends on how good you are
All right. Well,
at sleight of hand. Because if you can master sleight of hand, make sure you have a bank teller. Mm-hmm. Make sure all right, you get a friend who's a bank teller.
Yes.
You pay this guy $5,000 to learn sleight of hand.
Okay.
Then when this coworker, Larry, comes in to make a withdrawal at the bank or something, the bank teller takes the deposit slip or the withdrawal slip and with sleight of hand replaces it with a prefab note, a pre-written note that says like, give me all the money or I'll shoot you.
I'm robbing the bank.
And then he hits the silent alarm. You got the evidence right there. The security cameras just sees this guy handing him a slip of paper. The teller's sleight of hand is going to be so good at this point that the camera's not going to see the move.
Right.
The pass, as it's called. And then...
as it's called in the magic community or in the bank robbing community?
The magic community time. Yeah. The sleight of hand, the pass, if you will, will especially in those grainy. He doesn't have to be that good, but I'd like him to be that good.
Right. Well, that just gives you extra insurance.
Exactly.
There's no, I guess you can't be like, oh no, I didn't do that.
You type that on a typewriter.
Yeah, or you get a magazine. You cut the
ooh, that's
like
even better.
Ransom notey, and then you leave the magazine. You leave that issue of Cosmo at the guy's house.
Ah,
and it's like, oh come on, buddy.
Yeah,
all the letters fit.
And then
even better.
And who would frame him and why? Nobody would think that it was because he was arguing about shoes.
Yeah. Well, he'll have, 5 to 10 to think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
To wonder who, man, that would be
the worst. And I bet
the
prisons there are nice. So, you're doing this guy a favor. Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, everything else is nice, too. I mean, you can apparently get jobs where you draw $2,000 pairs of shoes.
And it pays pretty well.
It pays pretty well.
This guy must be pretty good at drawing, though.
Yeah. Well, he must not be that good because he has to share a desk with 2 other guys.
Just get a new job. That sounds, I don't know. Again, if you have a problem you'd like us to solve, email us at thecompleteguideeverything@gmail.com. Tom?
Yes.
I think that's all the time we have.
Yeah. You can find out more at tcgt.com. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/completeguide. You can follow us on Twitter. At Complete Guide. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Tom Reynolds.
You follow me at Your Pal Tim on those things.
And you can support us in multiple ways. The easy way, tcgt.com/Amazon. You do your normal Amazon shopping. We get a little bit under the table. It's not under the table. It's above the table.
Above board. At no cost to you.
Or the fun way, tcgt.com/pledge, where you get a bunch of fun stuff by supporting the show, such as mini episodes like the soon to be concluding Amazing Facts, and then to be replaced by a brand new mini show that Tim is going to tell you about.
Next week we'll announce all that stuff. Yeah, do all the other things, right? There's did we do it all?
Yeah, did it all, Tim.
Oh, we didn't tell everybody that we're on HeadGum last week, remember?
Yeah, and then people were like, what is this
at the beginning of
Yeah, we're on HeadGum now, guys.
Yeah, it's a network.
HeadGum.com. You can find all the other shows. We're in HeadGum's studios right now.
Yeah.
Talking to each other. Nick's over there looking at us.
There's a dog in this
He's
studio.
waving.
Just
there
like
is a dog in this studio. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Makes me feel comfort.
Yeah.
It makes me feel comfort.
It makes you feel comfort.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, nothing's really changing about the show except it's should sound better.
Yeah. It's easier for us.
Yeah, which makes it better for you.
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah. No, it's
we
the
didn't
proof's in the
get
pudding.
should we have gotten talking points or something about this? No. All right.
Yeah.
It's run by Jake and Amir. You know them from the internet.
Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we forgot to talk about it last week, and it was just kind of on the show. And some people already, they were like, oh, hey, I know that network. I know those guys. This is great. So thanks to those guys.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing one show a month. It'll be 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
And it'll cost you, $15 an episode?
$15 an episode.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
it's really not bad if you think about it.
Headgum.
No. It's just
So,
it's free.
Yeah, it's
As
all the
free as
a
bird.
bird. Wow, how did we get on the same
Well,
wavelength like
that's
that?
our favorite Beatles song.
Yeah. That's not a bad song.
It's not a great song. There's a reason why they were like, oh, let's not finish this one up. Let's
My
save
favorite
it.
Beatles song is "Cut Me Some Slack."
Okay.
It was that's what the crappy song that Paul McCartney played with the surviving members of Nirvana.
Oh,
Of all the things they
yeah.
could have played together,
Yeah.
they were like, now we're gonna play this it's a bad song.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you got off your chest, Tim. I'm glad you're not holding, just because we're on HeadGum now, you're not afraid to take controversial opinions and stances.
Yeah. All right, I've had enough.
All right, we'll see you next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.